So good morning friends. I warmly welcomes all of you in today's lecture. It is the third lecture on the topic carbohydrates. In my previous lecture, we have studied the introduction of carbohydrates and classification of carbohydrates, then IUPAC nomenclature of monosaccharides and chemical reactions that involves the oxidation reaction, reduction reaction, ether formation and oxazone formation with mechanism. Now today we are going to study the points interconvergence. It involves the conversion of glucose to fructose. Then we have to convert here fructose to glucose, then glucose to mannose, then glucose to arabinose. It is also known as rough degradation. Then arabinose to glucose, it is known as Killian synthesis. Then we have to study mutation with mechanism and epimerization. And the remaining points like cyclic and open structure of glucose as well as manufacture of sucrose from sugarcane, that will be discussed in next lecture. Now let us see the interconvergence. First of all, the interconversion of glucose to fructose we have to study here. Now in the interconversion of glucose to fructose, it involves three important steps. First step is the formation of oxazone. Now we know that oxazone formation that involves three steps, means three molecules of phenylhydrazine reacts with the glucose and that forms the oxazone. So by treatment of glucose with excess of phenylhydrazine, we get the glucosazone. This is the first step, which is known as formation of oxazone. Second step is the formation of ozone. Now in this step, the obtained oxazone or glucosazone that is hydrolyzed in presence of dilute acid, so that we get ozone, that is also known as glucosone. And last step is the formation of product, or that is also known as formation of fructose, and it is obtained by the reduction of ozone with zinc and acetic acid. Now let us see the reactions. So you know here, this is the structure of glucose, which contains this aldehyde group, then CHOH, CHOH 3 times and CH2OH. It is the structure of glucose. It is also known as aldohexose. And when it is treated with excess of phenylhydrazine, so these are the three molecules of phenylhydrazine, it reacts with the glucose molecule and that forms the glucosazone. So this is the structure of glucosazone. So this is the first step. The glucose reacts with excess of phenylhydrazine and that forms the glucosazone. Side products are here aniline, ammonia and water molecule. They are not shown. So our main product is here glucosazone. Now this glucosazone then hydrolyzed in presence of mineral acid like dilute hydrochloric acid. In this glucosazone undergoes hydrolysis and forms the glucosone, which is known as ozone. So here this group that is replaced by this oxygen, this group that is also replaced by this oxygen. So in this particular ozone there are two groups, that is aldehyde as well as this ketone, and this ozone on reduction with this zinc and acetic acid, that forms the product, means this group, that is aldehyde group, that is reduced to this primary alcoholic group, and this C double bond will remain as it is, and this is nothing but the structure of fructose, or it is an example of ketohexose. So these are the three important steps that involved in the interconversion of glucose to fructose. So first step, that is known as the oxazone formation, means here glucose is treated with excess of phenylhydrazine and that forms the glucosazone, and this glucosazone on treatment with dilute hydrochloric acid, and it is nothing but the hydrolysis reaction, and that forms this glucosone. And this glucosone on reduction using this zinc and acetic acid, that gives the fructose. Here this aldehyde group is reduced to this primary alcohol, that is CH2OH group. So this is nothing but the interconversion of glucose to fructose. Now the second interconversion is here interconversion of fructose to glucose. It's exactly reverse of the previous interconversion. Now in this interconversion, the two steps are important. Here first step is the formation of polyhydroxy alcohol. Now here the keto group, that is nothing but which is present in fructose, that is reduced to this alcohol group CHOH group by passing hydrogen gas in presence of nickel. This reaction may also carried out in presence of sodium amalgam and dilute hydrochloric acid, and we get the polyhydroxy alcohol. So first step is the formation of polyhydroxy alcohol, or it is nothing but the reduction of glucose to form polyhydroxy alcohol, and the reducing agents are here hydrogen in presence of nickel or sodium amalgam and dilute hydrochloric acid. These are the reducing agents. And second step is the oxidation of this polyhydroxy alcohol, and here oxidizing agents are here concentrated nitric acid or hydrogen peroxide in presence of ferric sulfide. So the oxidation of adjacent this CH2OH group to aldehyde group occurs when this polyhydroxy alcohol is treated with this oxidizing agent like nitric acid or hydrogen peroxide in presence of ferric sulfide. So this is the second step, and we get their final product. Now let us see here the reaction. This is the structure of fructose. Here is the carbonyl group, CH2OH, C double bond O, then CHOH 3 times and CH2OH. It is the structural formula of fructose. It is an example of ketohexose, and when it is reduced by passing hydrogen gas in presence of nickel, then we get this carbonyl group. This carbonyl group is reduced to this CH2OH group. This is the first step, and in the second step the oxidation of this hexahydric alcohol occurs, and the oxidizing agent is here nitric acid or hydrogen peroxide in presence of ferric ions or ferric sulfide. So we get here final product, means this primary CH2OH group, primary alcoholic group, that is reduced to this, oxidized. This primary CH2OH group is oxidized to aldehyde group, and this is nothing but the structure of glucose. CH double bond O here, and CHOH, CHOH 3 times and CH2OH. It is the structure of glucose. It is an example of aldohexose. So in the interconversion of fructose to glucose, that involves two steps. First step is the reduction of fructose to form hexahydric alcohol. So in this reaction, this carbonyl group is reduced to this secondary alcoholic group, that is CH2OH, and in the next step, that is the oxidation of this terminal CH2OH group occurs into this aldehyde group, and we get this glucose. Now let us see the reduction of this ketose, hexose, it means here fructose. In this reaction, the second carbon C2, that becomes the asymmetric. You know, asymmetric carbon atom is that carbon atom to which other 4 different monovalent atoms or groups are attached. Initially, this second carbon in fructose was not asymmetric, but when this fructose is converted into glucose, then this second carbon or C2, that becomes the asymmetric. Now let us see here the structure. Now this is the fructose molecule, and this is the C2 or second carbon. and to this carbon one CH2OH group is attached and a doubly bonded oxygen is attached to this. So this carbon is not asymmetric, but in this glucose molecule, this carbon, it becomes asymmetric because to this carbon one hydrogen, other hydroxyl group, third this aldehyde group CH double bond O, and the fourth is this group that is attached to this carbon. So it is the asymmetric carbon, and therefore the reduction of ketohexose means fructose that forms this second carbon atom asymmetric, and we get theoretically two polyhedric alcohols, and therefore the products will be here two, that are the two aldohexoses. One is the D-glucitol and other is the D-mannitol, that are the two polyhedric alcohols. But in actual practice D-glucose is the predominant, means this D-glucitol is the major product. That's why this D-glucitol on oxidation that forms the D-glucose. Now see here, this is the ketohexose, means here is, this is suppose fructose molecule, and it on reduction that gives the D-glucitol and D-mannitol. What is difference? In D-glucitol, this OH group which is attached to the second carbon atom that lies to the right hand side, and here this OH group attached to second carbon that is to the left hand side. So this is called here D-glucitol and this is the D-mannitol, and this D-glucitol on oxidation that forms the D-glucose, whereas this D-mannitol on oxidation that gives the D-mannose. Means these are the two aldohexoses, D-glucitol and D-mannitol. Only change in the configuration of second carbon atom occurs here, or the configuration of second carbon atom that is different in D-glucitol and D-mannitol. Now let us see here the next interconversion, that is glucose to mannose. So how glucose can be interconverted into mannose, or the aldose to its epimer. Glucose, it is aldose, and mannose, it is nothing but the epimer of this glucose. So these two are the epimers of each other, glucose and mannose, both are the aldoses. Now here let us see here the number of steps involved in the interconversion of glucose to mannose are here 4 steps. First step is the oxidation of glucose with weak oxidizing agent like bromine water, and that forms the gluconic acid, which is also known as aldonic acid. Second step is the heating of this aldonic acid with pyridine, that forms the equilibrium mixture of the original, means that is the gluconic acid, and its epimeric acid, that is the mannonic acid. And third step is the separation of these epimeric acids, that is gluconic acid and D-mannonic acid, or gluconic acid and mannonic acid. So this is the separation, and on heating they forms the gamma lactone. And final step is the reduction of the gamma lactone using the sodium amalgam and hydrochloric acid, and that forms the mannose, or the epimer of glucose. Now let's see the reaction. So first step, it is the oxidation of this glucose. This is the structure of glucose. In this glucose structure, this hydroxyl group lies to the right hand side, and in the product mannose, this hydroxyl group is to the left hand side. Only this is the change. Now see the number of steps that are involved while conversion of this glucose into this mannose. So first step is the oxidation of this glucose using this weak oxidizing agent bromine water, so that this aldehyde group is oxidized to carboxyl group COH, and it is called here gluconic acid. And this gluconic acid on heating in presence of pyridine, that forms the enol form of this gluconic acid, and this enol form can be interconverted, or that is nothing but the shown by reversible arrow. It can be changed into this mannonic acid, means this hydroxyl group that goes to this left hand side, and it is called here D-mannonic acid. Now here this D-mannonic acid on heating that loses one water molecule, means this OH group and one hydrogen from this carbon, that is given out in the form of water, and a cyclic product is obtained here, that is known as gamma lactone. And this gamma lactone on reduction using this sodium amalgam in presence of acid, that forms the mannose, or it is also known as epimer of glucose. So here is the aldehyde functional group, here also aldehyde functional group in glucose, and in glucose hydroxyl group attached to second carbon is on the right hand side, and in this mannose hydroxyl group is on the left hand side. So this is the change, and these two are called glucose and mannose. They are called epimers of each other. Both are the aldohexoses. Only change in the configuration of the asymmetric carbon atom occurs. So this is known as the epimerization. So what is epimerization? That is nothing but the conversion or change in the configuration of one asymmetric carbon atom of the molecule having more than two asymmetric carbon atoms in their molecule. So that phenomenon is known as the epimerization. So in the epimerization, only change in the configuration of one asymmetric carbon atom occurs, and both have more than one asymmetric carbon atoms. In this glucose, there are also more than one asymmetric carbon atoms. Here also in mannose, more than one asymmetric carbon atom are here. So this process is also known as epimerization. Now let's see the next interconversion is arabinose to glucose. So arabinose, that consists of 5 carbon atoms, and glucose contains the 6 carbon atoms. Therefore this interconversion is also known as chain lengthening of aldose. Both contains the aldehyde functional group, so it is also known as chain lengthening of aldose, or it is also known as Killian-Fischer synthesis. Now here, why it is known as chain lengthening of aldose? Because in this particular procedure, there is lengthening of the aldose chain occurs by one carbon atom. Therefore it is also known as Killian-Fischer synthesis, as it is discovered by Killian synthesis. So it is nothing but the procedure of lengthening of aldose chain by one carbon atom. It is known as Killian-Fischer synthesis. It is also known as chain lengthening, or it is also known as ascent of series. Now it involves following important steps. Total 4 steps are involved. First step is the formation of cyanohydrine. Means here the arabinose, or you can say that aldose, is treated with hydrogen cyanide, and that forms the cyanohydrine. It is the first step. Second step is the hydrolysis of this cyanohydrine. So this cyanide group is hydrolyzed to carboxyl group, and it is known as aldonic acid. So this is nothing but the formation of aldonic acid, or it is the hydrolysis of this cyanide group from this cyanohydrine to form the aldonic acid, in which this cyanide group is hydrolyzed to carboxyl group. Third step is conversion of aldonic acid to gamma lactone by heating. So this aldonic acid on heating, that gives cyclic product which is known as here gamma lactone. And last step is the reduction of gamma lactone with sodium borohydride or sodium amalgam and hydrochloric acid, that forms the higher aldose. Now let us see the actual reactions. So this is the structure of arabinose. It contains total 5 carbon atoms. One is from this aldehyde group. These are the 3 CHOH group, means 3 carbons, and last one is the 5th carbon here, CH2OH. Total 5 carbon atoms are present here. This is the structure of arabinose. Commonly it is known as aldopentose. And it on treatment with hydrogen cyanide, the addition of this HCN molecule occurs across the double bond of this carbonyl group, and it forms this product, that is here it is known as cyanohydrine. CH, then Cn, here OH, remaining part is common here, CHOH 3 times and CH2OH. It is the cyanohydrine, and this cyanohydrine on hydrolysis in presence of acid, so that this cyanide group is hydrolyzed to carboxyl group, and we get the product here, gluconic acid. Here OH group is to the right hand side, so it is the gluconic acid. We also get here the another one, aldonic acid, in which the hydroxyl group lies to the left hand side, and it is known as mannonic acid. So we get the mixture of this gluconic acid and mannonic acid. So we have to separate it, and then we can treat this gluconic acid by heating this gluconic acid that loses water molecule, this OH group, and one hydrogen from the gamma carbon, alpha, beta, and this is the gamma, and that is given out as water molecule, and we get a cyclic product. It is known as gamma lactone, and this gamma lactone finally on reduction using this sodium borohydride, or you may also use sodium amalgam and hydrochloric acid, that also reduces this gamma lactone into this glucose molecule. This is the CHO, then CHOH 4 times and CH2OH. So this is called here the chain lengthening or Killian-Fischer synthesis. So this is the glucose or aldohexose. So total 4 steps are involved in this reaction. First step is the treatment with hydrogen cyanide that forms cyanohydrine, and second step is the hydrolysis, so that this cyanide group is hydrolyzed to carboxyl group, and we get a mixture of gluconic acid and dimannonic acid. We have to then separate it by fractional crystallization, and then we have to heat the gluconic acid, this digluconic acid, with this heat, and that forms the cyclic product gamma lactone by the loss of water molecule, and finally this gamma lactone on reduction with sodium borohydride forms the diglucose. And here also we get the mannose of when this mannonic acid is heated, that forms the gamma lactone. Only change will be here, that is in this particular position of OH group. In the gamma lactone of this product obtained by heating this mannonic acid, OH group lies to the left hand side, so we will get the another one gamma lactone, and that on reduction that forms the mannose. Now let's see here the, in short, this arabinose is converted into either diglucose or dimannose, means we get a mixture of this diglucose and mannose, but major product is this diglucose, and this reaction is known as Killian synthesis, or it is also known as the chain lengthening or ascent of series. Now exactly reverse of this, that is the interconversion of glucose to arabinose. So it is known as rough degradation, or it is also known as the chain shortening of aldoses, or it is also known as descent of series. So here the procedure of shortening of aldose chain by one carbon atom, it is known as rough degradation. What is rough degradation? It is nothing but the procedure which involves the shortening of aldose chain by one carbon atom. It is also known as chain shortening, or it is also known as descent of series. So important steps are here too. First step is the oxidation of glucose, that is the aldose to gluconic acid. We already studied this one. oxidation of glucose that forms the gluconic acid, which is known as aldonic acid, with weak oxidizing agent like bromine water. And second step is the oxidative decarboxylation of aldonic acid using calcium salt with hydrogen peroxide in presence of ferric sulfate catalyst. Means here is the loss of one carbon atom occurs in the form of carbon dioxide, and there is also oxidation occurs. So this step is known as oxidative decarboxylation. Means here oxidation as well as decarboxylation occurs. So it is known as oxidative decarboxylation of aldonic acid, and that forms the product arabinoids. Now let us see the actual reactions. This is the glucose molecule, and it contains total 6 carbon atoms, 1, 2, and this 3, 5, and this is the 6th carbon. So this is the structure of glucose. It is also known as aldohexose, and this aldohexose on oxidation with bromine water, that gives the aldonic acid, that is the gluconic acid. Means here this aldehyde group is oxidized to carboxyl group, and this gluconic acid on treatment with this hydrogen peroxide in presence of this Fe+3 ions and calcium salt, so there is loss of carbon dioxide molecule occurs, and we get this product, that is nothing but this CHO, CHOH 3 times CH2H. It is nothing but arabinose, or it is also known as aldopentose. Means as there is the loss of one carbon atom in the form of this CO2 occurs, and the oxidation also occurs here. So this step, it is known as oxidative decarboxylation, and we get this product arabinose. So in this reaction there is loss of one carbon atom occurs, means the length of the carbon chain, that is reduced by one carbon atom. So this is known as descent of series, or this reaction is nothing but the interconversion of glucose to arabinoids, or you can say that shortening of the carbon chain. Now let us see the another one method, that is the alternative method for the interconversion of glucose to arabinoids. Now in this method there are 3 steps. First step is the formation of oxime. Means here glucose, that is aldose, is treated with hydroxylamine, and that forms its oxime. And second step is the formation of acetyl derivative. So in this step, oxime obtained from glucose by treatment with hydroxylamine is converted into acetyl derivative of cyano compound on treatment with acetic anhydride. So this is the second step, formation of acetyl derivative. And third step is the formation of lower aldones, that means the arabinoids. Now here the acetyl derivative of cyano compound on warming with Tollens reagent. You know Tollens reagent is the ammonical silver nitrate solution. So here acetyl derivative of cyano compound on warming with Tollens reagent hydrolyzes and removes a molecule of hydrogen cyanide and forms the lower aldose, which is known as arabinoids. So these are the 3 important steps. First is the formation of oxime, second step is formation of acetyl derivative, and third step is the formation of lower aldose. Now let us see the reactions. So this is the structure of glucose. This is the aldehyde group C double bond OH, then CHOH 4 times and CH2H. This is a glucose molecule. It on treatment with hydroxylamine, this O and this H2, it is given out as water molecule, and remaining this NOH group, it gets attached to this double bond of this carbon, and we have this product which is known as oxime. As it is obtained from glucose, it is known as glucose oxime. and this oxime of glucose on treatment with acetic anhydride that loses one water molecule and forms this acetyl derivative. Means all the hydroxyl groups, they are acylated and we get this acetyl derivative, and this acetyl derivative of this oxime on treatment with Tollens reagent, it undergoes hydrolysis and that forms this cyano compound of this acetyl derivative, and finally this molecule that loses one hydrogen cyanide, this CN and one hydrogen from one CHOH group, that is given out as HCN molecule, and here is the formation of this aldehyde group occurs. Means here is one carbon atom is lost in the form of hydrogen cyanide and we get the product arabinoids. In the previous mechanism we have shown there is loss of one carbon atom in the form of carbon dioxide molecule, and in this second method there is the loss of one carbon atom in the form of hydrogen cyanide. So we get here final product arabinoids. So here is the decrease in the carbon chain length occurs here. So it is known as chain shortening of aldoses. So conversion of glucose into arabinoids, it is also known as chain shortening of aldoses. Now let us see here the new point, that is mutarotation. So according to the scientist Lowry, who has given the definition of mutarotation in 1925. So according to him, the mutarotation is nothing but the change in specific rotation, which is known as optical rotation, of an optically active compound or optically active solution of the compound without any change in other properties is known as mutarotation. So in mutarotation, there is only change in the optical rotation or optical property, and there is no any change in the other properties, means other properties remain as it is. So this particular phenomenon, it is known as mutarotation. So mutarotation is nothing but the phenomenon or process in which the specific rotation of optically active solution without any change in other properties is known as mutarotation. So muta is a Latin word and its meaning is to change. It is also defined in other words like this: the change in optical rotation of a solution of either form of glucose until a constant value is obtained. It is known as mutarotation. Now let's see here the mutarotation. It is explained with the help of taking, say here, one example, that is glucose. And this glucose, you know, that exists in two cyclic forms. One is known as alpha D glucose and other is known as beta D glucose, and both these are the anomers of each other. Now what is alpha D glucose? This alpha D glucose is nothing but the glucose that is obtained by crystallization of ordinary glucose from cold ethyl alcohol or concentrated aqueous solution of acetic acid at 30 degrees Celsius. The melting point of this alpha D glucose is 146 degrees Celsius and its specific rotation is plus 112 degree. Whereas beta D glucose is the glucose which is obtained by crystallization of ordinary glucose from hot pyridine or hot glacial acetic acid solution, and the melting point of this beta D glucose is 148 to 150 degrees Celsius. This is the range of temperature given in which the beta D glucose melts, and the specific rotation of beta D glucose is plus 90 degree, 19 degree. Now let's see here, when these alpha D glucose and beta D glucose, they are dissolved in water, then their specific rotation undergoes variation or changes. For example, when this alpha D glucose is dissolved in water, or you can say that allowed to stand in water, then its specific rotation falls. See here, this is the alpha form, means alpha D glucose. Its specific rotation is 112, which is plus value, and that falls up to this plus 53 degrees. And the specific rotation of beta D glucose, initially it was a plus 19 degree, that rises until we get a constant value, that is plus 53 degree. So in aqueous solution, these two varieties, means alpha D glucose and beta D glucose, are present an equilibrium mixture, and their percentage is here given, that is 37% of alpha form and 63% of beta form. They are present as an equilibrium mixture in aqueous solution, and the mixture formed by isomerization of alpha form and beta form, this mixture, equilibrium mixture, is formed by isomerization of alpha form into beta form and vice versa, means one form of glucose, that is alpha form, is converted into beta form and beta form is converted into alpha form. So this is nothing but the isomerization. Now let us see here the graphically, diagrammatically it can be shown like this one. The graph is plotted between the specific rotation versus time. So when the alpha D glucose is dissolved in water and allowed to stand for some time, then its specific rotation falls from plus 112 degree gradually and attains a constant value, that is 53 degree. Whereas you know the specific rotation of beta D glucose, that is here plus 19 degree, and when it is dissolved in water and allowed to stand for some time, then its specific rotation slowly goes on increasing and attains a constant value, that is nothing but here plus 53 degree. And this process, it is known as mutarotation of alpha D glucose and beta D glucose. So mutarotation is nothing but the change in the specific rotation of optically active solution without change in other properties. So this is the specific rotation. Now let us see its mechanism. So how it occurs? So glucose forms stable cyclic hemiacetal, that is the cyclic one structure, cyclic hemiacetal between the aldehyde group and the OH group of fifth carbon, and in this process the first carbon becomes asymmetric, giving two isomeric forms of glucose, that is alpha D glucose and beta D glucose. These two isomers differ only in the configuration of the newly generated asymmetric carbon, and these isomers are called anomers, and the new asymmetric carbon is called anomeric carbon. Now let's see here the what is anomer. Here the anomer with OH group to the right is designated as alpha D glucose, and the anomer with OH group to the left, that is designated as beta D glucose. The mutarotation that occurs because of the slow interconversion of alpha D glucose and beta D glucose via open chain form, which is known as aldehydrol, until equilibrium is established, giving constant specific rotation plus 53 degree. As here, this is the alpha D glucose and this is the D glucose in general. This is the alpha D glucose and this is beta D glucose. What is changed in alpha D glucose? Your OH group is to the right hand side, and in beta D glucose here hydroxyl group, that is to the left hand side. Now see here, initially this in the open chain, this carbon, which is the first carbon, that is not asymmetric, but in this hemiacetal form, this is the cyclic product which is known as hemiacetal, and here this first carbon that becomes the asymmetric, because here its 4 valencies are satisfied by 4 different monovalent groups. So in the both the structures, alpha D glucose and beta D glucose, this first carbon that becomes the asymmetric, and this one form of alpha D glucose is converted into other form of say here beta D glucose via open chain form, which is known as aldehydrol, until we get an equilibrium mixture, and they have constant specific rotation which is equal to plus 53 degree. Now in short, it can be represented like this here: alpha D glucose, it can be converted into this beta D glucose via this equilibrium mixture, which is known as open chain intermediate or aldehydrol. So reversible arrows are shown here. Means this process may goes in this direction, or that may goes in this particular direction, or forward and backward direction. Now let us see here, this is the alpha D glucose, then its ring opens and that forms this D glucose, which is the open chain structure. This is the aldehyde group, and here this carbon is not asymmetric. Now here change in the configuration of this carbon occurs. Here hydroxyl group lies to the left hand side, here the OH group is to the right hand side. This is the alpha D glucose and this is beta D glucose. This is the interconversion of alpha D glucose into beta D glucose occurs, and it is nothing but the Mewter rotation. So change in the specific rotation occurs without change in other properties. This is known as the Mewter rotation, and the specific rotation of alpha D glucose that falls from plus 112 degree to plus 53 degree, and the specific rotation of beta D glucose that falls from plus 19 degree to plus 53 degree. So this is about the Mewter rotation. Now the last point is here epimerization. What is epimerization? It is nothing but the change in configuration of one asymmetric carbon in a compound containing 2 or more asymmetric carbon atoms. So this definition I have already told you. So epimerization is nothing but the phenomenon or process in which there is change in the configuration of one asymmetric carbon atom occurs in a compound which contains more than 2 asymmetric carbon atoms, or 2 or more asymmetric carbon atoms. So this process, it is known as the epimerization. So its example is the interconversion of glucose to mannose. So this we have already seen or studied this interconversion, that is glucose to mannose. So it is going to be repeated here. Now see here example, that is conversion of D glucose to D-mannose, that is its epimer. Now it involves 4 steps. First step is the oxidation of glucose using weak oxidizing agent like bromine water, and that forms the gluconic acid, commonly known as aldonic acid. Second step is the heating of this aldonic acid with pyridine, and that forms the equilibrium mixture of the gluconic acid and mannonic acid. Then we have to separate it, and then only we have to select the gluconic acid or this mannonic acid. So we have to select here mannonic acid and heat it, that forms the gamma lactone, and finally this gamma lactone on reduction with sodium amalgam and hydrochloric acid, that forms the mannose. Now let us see the reaction. This reaction, this is the glucose molecule. Here OH group is lies to the right hand side, CHO, CHOH, then CHOH 3 times, CH2OH. This is glucose or aldohexose. It is on oxidation with weak oxidizing agent like bromine water. Here aldehyde group is oxidized to carboxyl group. We get this gluconic acid, and this gluconic acid along with we also get this dimannonic acid on heating with pyridine, that forms this gamma lactone by the loss of one water molecule, and this gamma lactone on reduction with sodium amalgam and acid or mineral acid, which indicates by here positive ion, H positive ion. So this ring opens and this group that is converted into aldehyde group and change in the configuration of this carbon occurs at this particular position. So here the glucose and this one is the mannose. These two are the epimers of each other, and here only change the configuration of second carbon atom occurs. Here this is the mannose, hydroxyl group is to the left hand side, this is the glucose, hydroxyl group is to the right hand side. So change in the configuration of one asymmetric carbon atom containing in the compound which contains two or more asymmetric carbon atoms. So in this glucose, except these two carbon atoms, that is aldehyde carbon and this CH2H carbon, remaining carbons are asymmetric. Means out of these 6 carbon atoms, 4 carbon atoms are asymmetric. Here also 4 carbon atoms are asymmetric. Only change in the configuration of this second carbon atom occurs here. So here the configuration of C2, that means the second carbon, has been changed, and the remaining part is identical in the above two sugars, that is nothing but glucose and mannose. So they are called epimers of each other. So this is an example of epimerization. So friends, today we have studied interconvergence of glucose to fructose, then fructose to glucose, then glucose to mannose, glucose to arabinose. It is the rough degradation. Interconversion of glucose to arabinose, it is known as rough degradation or chain shortening of aldose, because here in glucose there are 6 carbon atoms and in arabinose there are 5 carbon atoms. Next interconversion we have studied is arabinose to glucose. It is also known as Killian synthesis, or it is also known as chain lengthening of aldoses, because in arabinose there are 5 carbon atoms and in glucose there are 6 carbon atoms. Then we have studied what is mutarotation, and also we have studied its mechanism, and lastly we have studied epimerization along with its example. So these are the important points we have covered in today's lecture. Remaining points of this chapter, they will be covered in next lecture. So keep it watching. So thank you for watching the complete video. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy and stay happy. So thank you once again.